Okay, we've got our recording started. Once again, Aaron Willis here from Social Studies School Service. I see we've got some teachers from Orange County, California, awesome, Dallas, Texas, Rice University in Houston, more Orange County, wow, California, pretty strong, Champaign, Illinois, awesome. It looks like we've got a few more from Miami and from Illinois. Awesome. Okay. Well, the topic for today is what's new in Active Classroom. And the big takeaway that I want to begin with is everything I'm about to show you is going to be based on feedback we received from users like yourselves. Some of you may even have requested some of the changes you're about to see. So the first thing I want you to realize is that you guys should feel empowered to ask for whatever features you want. We may be able to deliver them. We may be able to get them set up the next day, or sometimes it might take 6 months or a year to get to it. But we will put it on a list, and we want our platform to be responsive to you and to work for you. So just about everything you're going to see here today was something that was suggested by a teacher, a user, or even students about things that they wanted to see, and those changes have all been implemented and now are ready to go. Now here's our new login screen, and you get a different background each time you get there. But let me go in as I've already signed in here, and this is the new home page. You can see it's greatly streamlined. We're trying to keep it as clean as possible and make it as clear as possible about what choices you have. So we struggled a lot with exactly how each of these areas should be named, and we tried to make it as clear as possible. If you've got curriculum maps associated with your district, here's where you can pop in, and they all pop up here, and that takes you in to be able to use those. If you've got activities you want to search for, here's where you go. If you want to manage your students, it all should be pretty basic in terms of our main area here. The recent activity has also been streamlined, and those will pop up here along with the date. You can go anywhere in the platform with this little hamburger menu in the top corner. So no matter where you are, you can always get back to somewhere else. So say we went to the help page here, and we wanted to then go back to our main page. We have two choices. We can go to the home by clicking on the A, or we can always click on this, and it can take us home. In this case, I think I just clicked on activities, and so it's taking us over to the activity area. You can see that we've made some changes here. We've really emphasized much more the ability to search by keyword, and so you can put anything in here. We recommend using quotation marks if you're looking for a term like Civil War and you put it in quotation marks, then you're only going to get back responses that relate to the Civil War. But if you were to do Civil War without them, it sort of searches for anywhere where civil or war might happen. So you could get World War II, World War I, you could get civil rights. It really, this is a great way to narrow your searches just by saying, look, I really only want these two words in this order, and it gives you the ability to do that. Now we also have the advanced functionality here. So you guys have been used to being able to select a particular subject area. Say we wanted to go into world history, and then we wanted a particular type of activity, like I want only videos. And let's see, so I don't think Civil War is going to help us, but say we do plague. And so now we've done a search for the plague, and we wanted just world history titles, and we only wanted videos. And we see that we've got two possibilities that we can see on that. Then we've got different options here. We can, if you click on the name of any of them, it'll give you the background information, but it'll also give you a link to view that activity. So you can go in and view it from here. We click on that, and it takes us right into the activity. And this is a nice video on the Black Death with a lot of scaffolding information and analysis questions for the students. Okay, so that's one way to get into the information. Yes, this is going to be recorded and it will be posted on the website, and you and any of your colleagues, if you think it's worthwhile, will be able to come back in, and I'll show you where to look for these once they're posted. Good question, Bill. Okay, so another thing that we might want to do is, oh, here's 2 videos on the Black Death. I don't want to assign them now, but I want to come back to them later. I can favorite them by clicking on the little favorite button, and that'll allow me now, if I redo my search and start over, and it gives me everything, I can go in here to Advanced and say, just show me my favorites that I have for, what subjects was I in, World History, and I hit search, and now it shows me those 2 favorites. So this is something that you guys asked for, and we made it a reality for you. So you can favorite any items, you can search for those in general, or you can narrow down. You can still use any of these advanced search features. But the main thing is you don't have to use those. Once again, you can still search by standards. So I forget exactly what state my license is in right now. We'll get an idea here. It looks like I'm in Louisiana. I was out in Louisiana training last week. So here I'm getting the Louisiana 8th grade history standards, because that's what, under my profile, that's the state that I say that I'm in. So you guys can always see standards for another state just by changing your profile and changing the state in your profile. Otherwise, it'll come up here and default to that, and we can go through, and if we wanted to find, like, say we were interested in the, what standards do I have that are about the Louisiana Purchase, and look at that. It told me that they had no standards in 8th grade for that. Let's try Revolution. You got to be able to spell it right, though. Now, once again, I'm only searching in the standards themselves, so those things may not be present there. And I think there's a big focus here so you can see the different standards. So all you need, read and interpret a map. We select that standard, and now it's searched, and it returned results down here of all the activities that would meet that particular standard. The My Content area is still the area where you go to either create your own quizzes or to upload your own content. Now the quizzes is working. We're doing some fine-tuning on the add your own content, but that should be up and running before the end of the week. We're really just working on solving a few issues there. And so that should be good. Also, your activity sets. Now this builder used to be always here. You can extend the builder out when you're ready to use it, and you can edit existing sets, or you're always able to create a new set if you want to, and you can just click again to hide it whenever you're ready. But when you do go into your activity sets, you're able to see them here. Now, one important thing that we changed is we discovered that most people were not assigning complete activity sets. They were just assigning one activity or even one part of one activity. So now you can still store whole units as activity sets as a way for you to create, this is what I'm going to use to teach about that particular topic, or as a way to sort of filter for you and create a basket. But you will assign them individually from here. So I might have to do 3 separate assignments, one for the video, one for the analysis, and one for the reading, across as separate assignments. I want to go in and assign something. Let's see what that looks like. You can click on this assign icon wherever you are, and it brings up a revised menu here. We set our due date. This will be due for next Friday, and I'm going to launch it today. I've got my title here. I can give students instructions. Complete as much as you can before Friday. And then now here's what's really cool. In the past, you would have to assign the entire unit. Now you can assign just a part of it. I only want to give the students the vocabulary words and the first 2 readings, okay? So I don't want to overwhelm them with maybe too much to read. They should be able to get through this in 15 minutes. And then I select either I'm going to assign all of period 1 and I click on the little link to move them over, or I can also assign an individual student. So I want to make sure that my student Seth is getting this. And if I have groups built in, I could assign it to any of those groups. So you can assign to any one of these. You can mix and match all of them. And once we're done, we go down here, we save the assignment, and we get that we've been successful with saving the assignment. Now let's go in, since we assigned this to the student and we only assigned these 2 sections, let's switch over. I'm going to take a shortcut here and switch over to the student account. Let's try this again. Now let me go in here. Oh, it says I'm in. Okay, sorry about that. So now we're in Seth's account, and we're looking, and I want to see if there's anything that, let's see, starts today. And here's this one that I just assigned today, the Power Basics, Framing a Constitution. So I'm going to launch that. Once again, I'm in the student mode right now, and I'm looking at his assignments. If we go back to the main page, looks like that's not working, right? I'm not sure why. Going to my assignments. Okay. And we're going to launch this. Here's the notes for the students, the instructions. Complete as much as you can before Friday. Then they launch it, and it takes them right into their activity. Now, we had all those different readings here, but it only assigned these first 2. We get our vocabulary, and then we get our readings here. And when they are multiple choice, and we select those there, and then we go to our section on federalism here. When they are multiple choice, they will be auto-scored by the system. I'm now going to click to turn my assignment in. It says, are you sure you want to turn in the assignment? You will not be able to change or add answers. So as a student, they often don't pay attention to this, and they wonder why they can't change things afterwards. But once they turn it in, they cannot change anything until you give them a chance you can give them a chance to redo it. Okay, so now I've turned in those answers. Let's go back to my teacher account, and I have a message here that all the students have completed this activity. Luckily, I only assigned it to 1. I can go in there now and click on this link in my recent activity, and it'll allow me to go in and takes me right into the grading interface for that. Okay, we'll just wait a minute for it to go out to all of your. And so here I had 2 sets of questions. There were 6 points total, and I got 2 of them right and 4 of them wrong. Okay. Now I can give the students individual feedback here, like go back to the reading and look at the first paragraph. And here I might say, good work. So you can give feedback to students on an individual basis. You could also decide, now this is multiple choice, there's not much open to debate there, but you can manually override and give students credit, complete credit, or partial credit. And you can also always manually change any of the grades up here. Okay, so I gave them half credit for this one, 2.5 out of 6 for that. And now the next step would be to go to the gradebook, and we'll see how the grades are loaded in. I see this little message that it's loading the grades here. And with our limited time, I'm not sure if that's a problem with the gradebook. We'll check into that as well. This takes me back to my list of all of my assignments. So that gives us a quick idea about some of the changes that we made there. Remember, I said we can get wherever we want from here. So another thing I wanted to show you is how we manage students now. You've got your classes, your groups, or your individual students, and you'll always get a list of all the students in your classes that appears here in the field on your Students tab. Now that's where if you need to edit, a student lost their password or something, you can always edit their account here by just clicking on Edit, or you can delete students if, say, a student left your class and they aren't there anymore. You can also create new students one-on-one, or you can import students from a spreadsheet. If you want your students to sign themselves up, here's the link that you give to them, and they can create their own accounts. Now, a lot of you are in districts that are rostered. That means that we're getting your information directly from your student information system. That means that your login and your passwords are going to be the login and password both for you and your students that are coming directly from anything that you would use to log in to your district interface. So many districts now don't even need to have students create their own activities. And if you'd like to find out more about that, that's something that we do on a district-wide basis. You can also go in and create or edit your groups wherever you see fit, and manage your classes here as well. So easy to create a new student class. I'm going to create this one called Period 4. That's really, and now my class was created. I can actually add students to that class, or I can just go back out here and look at my classes again, and now Period 4 has been added. So that's pretty simple and straightforward to be able to do. We've added a new section called Professional Learning. And here we've got online courses, and all of you should have access to Active Classroom 101 and 102, and that's available for your colleagues who aren't here today. That's a great way for them to get started on learning about the platform. We also have our blog where Pam and I and some guest bloggers are posting things that we find of interest related to either Active Classroom or to teaching in general. You can see I did something here on brain science. Does multitasking make you more productive? So just trying to offer things that give you the opportunity to think about the best ways for teaching. And then here's our list of webinars, and we've got both upcoming ones, and then this is where you would go to be able to watch what we've got today. So this will be the link for you to be able to watch that when we're done recording it and it's ready to be posted. Okay. The curriculum maps are pretty similar to how we've had them in the past. You can go in here, and if your district has curriculum maps, here we are, Louisiana history. You can go in and we give you some background information and coordinate that, and then we take you to a preset list of activities, which once again can be viewed or assigned directly from this place. You can also favorite them, and if you go back and search for them later, you'll remember that these are your favorite activities. Okay, so we've covered basically professional learning. We showed you this we showed you how to search for activities, how to use the activity set builder, and also how to assign parts of activities. We've shown you what it looks like from a student point of view. So I think for the purposes of what we've got going here, I'd like to open it up at this point in time and see what questions you guys may have. I am going to unmute you, but if you'd like to ask a question, please, if you're not asking a question, please mute yourself. Otherwise, we hear everything that you're doing. And if you'd like to ask a question, please just ask away, or you can post it here to the chat area. So I'm going to unmute everybody now. And it's open for any questions.
Hi, Aaron. This is Gail.
Hi, Gail.
In our pilot professional development that we're going to be running in the fall, we are setting up a series of discussion boards. And in addition to the discussion boards where all the participants will be able to type messages to each other based on pre-assigned readings, we also would like to be able to set up a private journal where the participants could journal with their teacher various thoughts and reflections. I couldn't figure out a way how to set up a journal, an ongoing journal that would be private in lieu of the discussion board, which is open to everybody.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a very specific question. We don't have this notion of journaling or privacy really built in here. What I would recommend to you is for the teachers to create their journal in a Word document or something like that, so it does remain private, and then they post whatever they want to share, either with their instructor or someone else. But that feature, I'll need more time to think about strategies for that. I'm sure there's some way we can tweak the system to get it to work, but that's not something that we thought of. So thank you for pushing the limits there.
Oh, well, thank you so much for considering it. And, you know, I don't know if teachers have students journal or not. It might not really be applicable. I'm not sure. I've had collegiate students journal before, but I don't know about secondary. In any event, we can definitely figure out how to make a Word document serve our purposes. Thank you so much.
And then you could create a new topic, and you could create a topic that you or a new forum that you only invite that one person to, and then I suppose it would only be the teacher and that individual person. But great, you can see that we've got general now under this area. I clicked and I went to discussions, and we've got general discussions. We've got discussions that are created for every assignment that you create, and automatically a discussion is created. Or if you're taking an online course, there are certain discussions that are there. But I think for what Gail is talking about, she's talking about creating a general area where they can use this for teacher professional development in their district. Who else has a question?
Hi, how are you? This is Andrea from Miami.
Hi, Andrea. Welcome from Miami.
I have a question about, just basically to make sure that I understood, when you select certain readings, I'm assuming the activities which are at the bottom can also be randomly, selected, and then that will appear, correct?
Yes. Let's try and recreate that. Let's see. We were in a Power Basics. So you can select any of those sections. I happen to pick two that were right next to each other. And so here's this Power Basics. I'm going to switch over to Africa. I'm going to go to Assign It. And here, if I wanted to assign I want to unselect all. I just want to assign the readings on Egypt and then the quiz, for example. Yes, I can do that. Is that what you're asking about?
Yeah, because that was an issue that I had last year, that I used HyperDocs and I would use a link, but I could never get them to get to that specific activity. It was always opening up in their dashboard so this is wonderful, because at least when they open their dashboard, they have exactly what they need to do right on their dashboard.
Right, it should be right there on their dashboard. Now, if you're using another, I just want to make you aware that if you're using this other feature, like if you're using like Edmodo or another Google Classroom, say, to organize it, and you click Save Assignment here.
Yes.
Oh, I got this mixed up. Let me just set the due date.
Yes, I do use Google Classroom, but last year I used more of a HyperDoc, which is like a sort of like a Google Doc with a lot of links and activities. So this time I do use Google Classroom now. So go ahead from there.
This link, when you save an assignment, it creates this little link here at the bottom of the page. You can copy and paste that. If you paste that into Google Classroom, that'll and the students click on it, it'll take them to Active Classroom. It'll ask them to log in, and then once they log in, it'll take them right to that assignment. They don't even need to, it doesn't even take them to their dashboard. It goes even deeper than that. So you also have like this as well.
Okay.
So play with that and let us know how it goes.
Right. And one last question regarding your curriculums, because I teach at a private school, so I don't. The only thing that always comes up for me is the 9th through 12th for geography. But I do see that you have other curriculums, and I don't know if it's that I just haven't gotten around to look at it. Do you guys offer that only for certain schools that have that curriculum, or is it standard throughout?
We usually do the curriculum maps are customized on a district by district basis to match a pacing guide for a whole district. But you know, we have created generic ones that correlate with the Florida state standards, and you could contact your curriculum specialist for that area. I think you work with Ileana probably, and yes. Let her know that you get access to the generic curriculum maps for Florida for whatever grades you're interested in, and I'm sure she'll be able to work with you and we can put those into your account.
Right. Okay, yeah, because that 6th grade that you were showing before, which is world history, I teach it in 7th grade, and it's exactly what I teach. So it's from another, it's pretty much overlaps, you know? All right, perfect.
Right, but we want to give you the ones for Florida state standards, so I'd rather give you those, even if you're diverging a little bit, because I think you guys do a lot of civics in 7th grade, and you're doing world history, so.
Well, in the public schools, they do that. Yes, 7th grade for sure. Civics, we don't do that. I'm in a private school. Yeah.
Yeah, so you might have to play with them a little bit, but they should be there okay.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay. Who else has questions? Yeah, I see a chat here from Bill. Bill Kelly, feel free to follow up with me. I'd love to talk to you about what you're doing here in California, and you can email me, Aaron@socialstudies.com, and we can make arrangements for a time to talk about your work. That'd be great.
This is Melba from the Dallas, Texas area, and I was writing a chat. I've never used Active Classroom before. I taught part-time for a local junior college and had all my course stuff in Canvas, was very familiar with that. I appreciate all the activities available. I'm just very overwhelmed with all the clicks and links and go here and go there. I don't know that I can adequately or accurately tell my students how to get to what it is I want them to do.
That's a good question. So let me make sure that you are aware that there's a help page both for you and your students. And when you're a teacher, it gives you certain information. So here you've got a whole user's guide. It's only 30 pages, but this is a PDF. And here you want to know how to create assignments. So we can click on this section. It takes you right there. It shows you the screen. and it gives you step-by-step instructions on how to use it. Okay, that's for the teacher. If we go back over here, let me switch to my student account that I was using earlier. And I should have a help page here. So here's a student user's guide. So if the students just click on the little help symbol once they're in there, I'll open this up for you to show you. How do I find assignments? How do I annotate an activity, save my answers? How do I view my grades? I think a lot of the questions would be answered here. And we tried to make it as simple as possible. So very visual here with a few numbers. And this whole user's guide is only 10 pages, and it's lots of pictures. Do you think that that could work with your students?
Yeah, I think so. And some of the other instructors have used Active Classroom. I'm just new to the district, and I just haven't used this before, so I can also ask for some help from them. I want to make it available and you know, do what other instructors are doing. It's just, and plus, I'm older, not terribly tech savvy, so anyway, but yeah, the help page, I can print out the PDF and go through it, and maybe even have the students, if they need to print that out for themselves, or they can access it whenever. Again, if I'm able to put these assignments in Canvas with those links, and then when the kids click on that link, it'll just go straight into the Active Classroom assignment. Or it takes
right.
them.
You can even set it up. There's even, let me just show you, let me go back here to the help page. Let me switch back to my account. There's a way to set it up so that you can, so that they can also have single sign-on from Canvas. So you would go here to the help page. I'm clicking on the little question mark, and here is single sign-on information for Canvas.
Okay.
So you can use that. You might, you know, need to talk with one of your tech people if it's not exactly clear. There's some sort of ways to connect the two platforms together. But essentially, if you took one of those links and you embed it in Canvas, the students can click on it, and it can even know who they are when they're coming over from Canvas, and they don't even have to log into Active Classroom. They it takes them right in to their assignment, and they complete it, and it knows which student they are. But you do need to follow those instructions.
Okay, and the techie people can help me. They will know me by first basis in a very short time. Okay, thank you.
It's good to have techie friends. Very good.
I have a quick question. Any plans of putting this together with Google Classroom, like Google Suite, to be able to log in directly?
Yes, we're working on that right now, and our vision is that you would have a way to connect your account in your profile here.
Right.
And we'll let you know when that happens. We'll probably put a link in here to connect, and if you're coming from Google, back of you there.
I don't take a picture when it comes to those things. Let me go get my stuff out of my room. I'm going to play this so they pretend like I'm here. Did you hear me? I'm letting my webinar play so I can pretend like I was there.
Okay, anybody else?
Oh, I think I'm thinking that's good. I'm good. Thank you so much. Okay, I guess I have one more question. Do we get a
yeah.
This is just about professional development. Do we have like a certificate where we could provide to our schools that we took this?
We don't have anything to verify that you can say that you signed up. We do offer certificates for if you do one of our online courses, you can get we do offer a certificate that you've completed. We call it AC 101 and AC 102. Those are the basic onboarding things, but we don't usually do that for webinar participation. We hope you're doing that for your own professional learning.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, let me just review the chat to see if I've missed any questions here. Okay. Well, that's pretty much our new setup. If you guys, I'll stay on the line here for another couple of minutes, and I'm happy to entertain whatever questions might come up.
One last thing, do you have a pre-made UNIX like you did for that world history for geography, for middle school geography?
Is that Andrea again in Miami?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, there should be something, the middle school geography, I'm just trying to remember.
The thing is,
yeah,
in Florida, we don't really teach geography, at least in South Florida. But in the private school, they do have it as a course. So we use yours as our main sort of platform, textbook, what have you.
right.
But I like the way you had that sixth grade where you had per unit, you had like several readings, a couple of activities. Do you have anything like that for geography?
Yes, we absolutely do. And in Florida, I think it's the 9th grade curriculum map for world geography. You might be able to, maybe you have access to that in your account now, I'm not sure, but that would give you an idea. And that's organized by one unit that's real general about geography principles and how to read maps, and then it goes in region by region.
Okay, so I have to go in and check it out, right?
Yeah, I think you'll find some stuff there that'll be helpful to you.
All right.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and you can always send, just to reiterate, when you are on the help page, you can always send, we have this contact us information here, and if you're having problems, this brings up a little area for you to be able to choose. I've got assignment issues, not all my, some of my students are not getting their assignments, and then it explains a little bit about what the problem might be. If it solves your problem, great. If not, we allow you to then send us an email, and we know, and you can just describe, but then we know who you are and where you're coming from, and that's a great way to give us feedback, see if things are working for you correctly, or whether you have a request for a feature that you can't find that would be helpful for you. Okay, once again, I'll stay on the line here for another couple of minutes, and I'm open to answering your questions.
Five 587-050-028.